Hey, Mr. Ray, this is William.
Good day, William. How you doing?
Doing yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. And good day, everyone. I'm about to just go through your names in a moment.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you all. Just check in my remind just to make sure there are no cancellations or anything. All right, so I'm just going to go through your attendance and whatnot. So, Veronica.
Here.
Good to see you, Veronica.
Veronica Oliva.
Yes, got you. How are you doing today?
I feel better. Thanks very much.
Okay, that's good. And looks like Jacob is still connecting. I don't know if you can hear me, Jacob. All right, and Norma. Good to have you, Norma. All right, Daniel C., welcome.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Reed?
How are you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
That's good, that's great. And Salvador.
Hi there.
How are you doing, Salvador?
How are you doing, Mr. Ray?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. Gennaro.
Hey, Mr. Ray, how you doing?
I'm all right, good to have you back.
Yes, sorry about the other day.
Yeah, it's fine.
I had a long day. I just came home and boom.
Yeah, I totally understand. So it's as long as, you know, I try my best to make sure you guys' attendance is taken care of. All right, Susanna, okay, there you are. Everything got maneuvered around. But Susanna, welcome.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And hopefully you had a great day as well.
Hi, Mr. Ray.
Jacob, you're connected. All right. It said you was connecting, but you're
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Ray.
Yes.
I sent you a message earlier through the chat app.
Yeah, I saw that. We could actually do that in the beginning. That's when I normally do them anyhow.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Just remind me once I'm finished.
It's been rough.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Latavia, welcome.
Hi, sir.
How you doing?
Thank you. I'm good, thanks.
That's good. And let's see, where was I? Clemente, welcome, Clemente.
How you doing, Mr. Ray?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
I have a question. Next week, next Thursday, I have kind of a family emergency.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to come into class next Thursday. Is that fine?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Thank you for the update. Just remind me, I'm writing it down, but just in case I forget, remind me on Tuesday.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, I wrote it down, but just in case.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and Daniel B. Welcome, Daniel.
Yes, Mr. Ray. How are you doing today?
How are you doing, Daniel?
Pretty good. Just want to let you know I'm kind of in a bad area right now, so I'm getting kind of crappy service. And
okay.
The screen keeps on going in and out, so
right.
I'm in a real bad area right now. I'm still stuck at work.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm glad you're still here, though. As long as you can hear us, that's a good thing.
Okay.
All right.
Right on.
And just,
Sounds
you
good.
know, you can always send me a message if something happens. All right, and William, good to see you.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Daniel. William, just writing your name down, but just hello again there. And Dorcas. Welcome, Dorcas.
I'm here, Mr. Ray. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Tired.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Maritza.
Yes, here.
Yes. All right. Welcome, Maritza. Hopefully you had a great day as well.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And Raymond. Welcome, Raymond. All right. So let me just make sure I had everybody. Should have 14. All right. Perfect. All right. So as usual, people will be coming in as we go. Some can't make it tonight. But this is now the opportunity for any questions that you may have on the material that we've been doing, whether it was something previous to last Tuesday or even before that, or from Tuesday itself. Welcome, Sergio, if you can hear me. Jacob, I see you're talking. I'm not sure if you're referencing me, but I can see that you're talking.
No, I was talking to one of the guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right, so any questions? Well, Jacob, I know you had some questions, and I think somebody else had sent me something as well.
Mr. Ray.
Yeah.
Yes, I got your message, Latavia, from last time. Thank you for
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Ray, this is about
Yes, Salvador.
on the worksheet that you sent us. I was able to do a few of them, but I got stuck on, like, you know, the 1, 2, and 5.
Okay, let me just open that up. Okay, so I'm just gonna share the screen and, all right, so you said 1, what else? 3 and 5? Was it 1, 3, and 5? Salvador?
1, 2, and 5.
Okay, 1, 2, and 5. All right, thank you. All right, so to do these ones, and Jacob, I think you had a question on these as well, right?
Pretty much on the whole homework assignment, I could only get number 2 done, but I used a calculator, and I was so frustrated. I forgot all of the process that you taught us last class.
Okay.
So I just got stuck, and I was frustrated. And I couldn't go through it anymore. So.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, Mr. Ray, I'm gonna be honest. Sorry to cut in, Daniel B, but yeah, I was having trouble also the other day, just messing around with it. I kind of lost a few steps on the formula and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right, no problem. I mean, it was something new. Did you guys know the answers are here too, so that could help you if you get stuck. But let's go over it to see how we would go about doing this. All right, so what's probably throwing you guys off too, I forgot this was in here, and I'll take blame for that one. I didn't really show you how to do it with a continuous fraction, and so that was my fault there for not bringing that up, and that might have thrown you off, these ones right here. So first, actually I have something that could help out there. Just bear with me real fast. We'll bring up a little presentation that should help. Now, generally, changing a continuous decimal into a fraction does not appear on the test, but anything's possible. But it's always good to know how to do it because it's pretty straightforward. All right, so let me bring this up. I'm gonna switch screens. And yeah. Okay. So first, I thought about going over this with you on Tuesday. Then I decided not to, but I forgot the worksheet had this stuff on there. So this is possibly what, like I said, might have thrown you off and you couldn't figure out the first one. And that's because I never showed you guys how to do it. And then it can mess you up for the rest of them. All right, so first of all, let's just practice turning numbers into fractions again. How would you turn number 1a, this decimal, into a fraction?
You move the point over 2 times.
47.
Right.
And then you put, that will be in 100. So you put 47 over 100.
Okay.
And then you simplify it after.
There we go. So that's 47 over 100. Can this one simplify any more?
No. I don't know.
And I'm just writing down George that came in here. Welcome, George.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And somebody else came in. Let me just make sure I did not. I thought I let 2 people in. I just want to be on the safe side there. All right, that's everyone. All right, so yes, this one cannot be simplified anymore. And so how about the second one? What would that one be?
For the first one in the worksheet, I used a math app that helps you convert and simplify and all of this, and it will give you a breakdown of the process. So on this one, it for instance, because it's about the same number of digits in after the decimal point. So in a fraction, that would be 295 over 1,000. Why? I don't know, but
Well, it's literally that's the place value, right? Remember, this is
yeah.
That's the 10th place, the 2.
But I just didn't know what to do afterwards.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, the 2 is in the 10th place.
Yes,
The
hundreds
9
and
is in the
thousands.
100th place. And the 5 is in the 1,000th place. And remember, we read that by the last digit's place value. So we say the number, 295. And because the last digit is in the thousands place, this number is read 295 thousandths.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's how it's read as a decimal, but that's also how it reads as a fraction. So that number is simply 295 over 1,000, which is 295 thousandths. Remember, it's the same thing with the first one. That first one is 47 hundredths because the 7 is in the hundredths position. So 47 hundredths as a decimal is what we see, and 47 hundredths as a fraction is that.
Right.
And same with the last one. There's 295 thousandths. As long as you know how to read a decimal, it makes it easy when you convert. So 295 thousandths is 295 over 1,000. And then you can reduce it. That one's divisible by 5 as well. I don't think I have it on there, but you can reduce this fraction down. If you divide each one by 5, and you know it's divisible by 5 because any number that ends with a 0 and any number that ends with a 5 is divisible by 5. And so that's how you can find out what that is. So 295 divided by 5 is 59. And what's 1,000 divided by 5?
200.
100.
Right? And is that as low as you can go?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you could do with that 59. That's a prime number.
Yeah.
So 59 over 200 is your final answer. So that's just a recap of what to do when you have one of those type of fractions. All right, so the next thing that we can do is what do we do when we have those repeating decimals? And let me just write down Crystal's name.
With the asterisk on it.
All right, so the next set of stuff is what do we do when we have these type of decimals, right? That's what you see in number 1 on that worksheet. It's a repeating decimal at the decimal part. Now, repeating decimals are when you have a repeating block after the decimal point. And so here in the first one, A, notice it's similar to number 1A, but it just repeats 47, 47, 47 over and over, right? Goes on forever. Now, the way that you do that, there's a long way that is the right way to go. But then there is something that we noticed that we can use for basic questions. And if you're ever asked to convert, more than likely it'll be a basic question. So just take my word for it. If you really want to know how to do it, I can show you, but I don't want to overwhelm you with more information. If you get a repeating decimal like this, it's a very similar process. What you want to do is just get the repeating block. So what's the numbers that are repeating?
47.
47.
47.
Now, how many digits is that?
2.
2. And that's all you do is 47 over 2 9s because the 4 and 7 is repeating. So whatever is the repeating block, you put it over that many 9s. So since there are 2 digits there, 4, 7, simply put it over 2 9s.
Okay.
And that will always work. Just trust me on it. It will work. So you look at the second one, you notice that 295 is the one repeating, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many digits are there?
3.
3.
So what would you put it over?
Three
1,000.
nines.
3 nines, right? Because
Three-
it's repeating. So when
Okay.
repeating decimals, is basically like 1 down from what it would be. So if it was 100, just subtract 1. If it's 1,000, subtract 1. So since it's 3 digits there, is over 3 nines.
Mm.
Now, if you go and put that in your calculator, let me switch screens real quick. Just remember the numbers. 47 repeating, 295 repeating. Just want to show you what would happen with the calculator. Hold on, I just see something in the chat. I think I see something in the chat. Oh, no, that's fine, Crystal. I know the time that we're on is totally fine. As long as you guys make it. All right, so if I go to the calculator, hold on, I need to open the calculator. I have to close this up real fast. Where's my calculator? All right, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna share the calculator just to show you, and you could try it on your calculator as well. Just remember those numbers I had. And here we go. So the first one was 47 over 99. Notice if I use my fraction, to get it better, I'll just do 44 divided by, oh, what was it, 47?
47.
47 divided by 99. And you see that? 47, 47, 47, 47. Now the reason why you see a 5 there, it's rounding, because that number goes on forever. So it's really a 4 and 7, but because the calculator has to cut it off, it can't go on forever, it automatically rounds for you. And so that 7 rounds the 4 up to a 5. But that's literally the same number. 47 over 99 is what gives you that repeating decimal. So remember, to turn any repeating decimal into a fraction, just
Okay.
find the repeating block.
Right.
However many there is, you put it over 99. I mean, over that many nines.
Awesome.
Now, there are some scenarios that you will run in where that doesn't work, and it takes a little bit of algebra skills to do it. I don't think that would be on the GED, because that's kind of higher level normally to do that, and I've never seen it appear. If anything, it'll just be this. All right, so just to show you the other one, I think it was 295 was the repeating block, right?
Yeah.
All right, so if you do that, 295 divided by 999, and you get that repeating block. 295, 295, 295, 295, over and
Let's
over.
remember that.
Oh, Mr. Ray, you want that repeating block to repeat at least twice after the original, or?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
So it goes 295 and it repeats once, 295. Is there like a certain rule?
Oh, well, it repeats
How many times it
forever.
repeats?
It repeats forever, but calculators, depending on your calculator, it can only hold a certain amount of digits.
Okay.
So your calculators, I think they only hold 11 or 12 digits. So like if I was to bring up my computer calculator, I think that one holds more digits. So let me just see first. If it does, I'll show you what it looks like. 295 divided by 999. Right, so my computer calculator holds more. So let me show you by switching over. So you could bring it up on your computer calculator too. You see how many digits that one brings up?
Yeah, mine's doing, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so depending on the calculator, it can produce more digits. Because the computer has a higher processor, it can bring up more digits than just a regular calculator. So it's no real rule. It's just that you just have to notice, oh, that's a repeating block.
Right.
But let's say you were doing it by hand, which is, I mean, a really long, and not too many people do that nowadays. But after it repeating once, it's safe to say you could stop and just use, the repeater bar on top.
Oh, right. Yeah. So once you start to notice, normally you notice it. So let me just throw up a number like, if I put this one here, if I do 9 over 11, and I turn that into a decimal, right? You see that? You see that it's repeating. Once you see about like the second or third time that it's repeating, you can pretty much know that it's going to repeat over and over.
I think you need to switch your screen, Mr. Ray.
I think you got to switch your
calculator.
screens.
I'm sorry. I thought I had it on share screen. I have it on share windows. Sorry. There we go. Do you see your calculator that you guys use?
Yes.
Yeah. So You see this one? You see that has that repeating block. Here's another example. Let's say if I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think your thing takes about 8 digits. 6. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. 6, 7. Right? Do it again. I made a mistake and cleared it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's almost the amount of digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I turn that into a decimal, you see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it starts 1, 2. So something like that, you can, I mean, I doubt you get that on the GED test. You could get it on higher tests. But here you can start to conclude that, wait a minute, that might be a repetition that's about to happen.
Okay.
But you're not going to have to worry about that many digits appearing on the GED.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever appears, it would be very simple, like what we just done, like just 2 patterns, 2 blocks or 3 blocks, but nothing like 7 repeating blocks or anything of that nature.
Okay.
All right, so how does this help us now with the worksheet? Let me go back to the worksheet now. If I could find it. I have so many things open. Hold on, I got to close something to get back to it. Oh, here we go. Do you guys see the worksheet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, so this first one has 58.3%. Right, so we could change it into a decimal. What would it look like as a decimal?
0.583.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that is more challenging. I even think I gave you that. I'm trying to decide, because you don't really need to know how to do this. Yeah, I don't. If you really want to know, I can show you maybe at the end of class how to do that one. It's just that it's going to take up time and it's not really necessary for you to learn how to do that.
Okay.
We're just going to cut out number 1, but we could use what we learned with number 2.
Okay.
Let me just show you real quick so you guys can let me know at the end of class if you really want to see this. You don't need to know it, but this is basically what you would have to do for number 1. Number 1, you have to do something like that. Can you see this? Can you guys see that? Do you guys want to learn?
Yes.
That's a lot.
But that's basically what you have to do. It's not a lot. It's just that you have to learn it, and you don't have to learn it for the GED. That's what I'm saying. It's not required to know how to do that, but because you do have the option to use your calculator. For number 1, let's just do that. Number 1, we're going to use the calculator. All right, so number 1 says 58.3%, right? So we're just going to use the calculator to do that. How much is 0.3 recurring? Do you guys remember? I said some fractions are really good to know.
Oh. A third.
A third, right? So that means for this one, we'll do a little shortcut around that. We could just say 50, we're gonna have to use the mixed number. So we just do second and then the fraction that turns it to a mixed number. So you just put 58, you just do the 1/3 because you know that that's what a 0.33333 is.
What?
It's a percentage. Let me just, oh, Daniel's having trouble. Come on, it's a percentage, so second percentage, right? And then you can convert that to a fraction. So that's it in decimal form, and then you could convert it to a fraction just by putting second and then the FD button and 7/12. Now the other way by hand would take a little bit more work. You have to do what I showed you. But like I said, you don't have to do that on the GED for these type of questions.
Okay.
So once again, I'll do it again. Normally, if you get something like that, it's normally an easy one. So 58.3333333, well, that's a third. And that's why You want to make sure you remember those easy ones. So you do the second mixed number, 58 and a third, because hopefully you will notice, oh, that's a third, right? Just do second percent. Once you hit enter, it's going to show you what it is as a decimal.
Okay.
Mr. Ray, how is that as a ratio?
Okay, so once we do that, I'll show you once we get to the ratio. You do FD, that turns it to a fraction. And then remember, a fraction is equivalent to a ratio. Does anyone remember that? What is the
Right,
relationship?
so it'd be 7, and then the colon, and then the 12, right?
There you go, yeah, 7
Yeah.
colon 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for the rest of them, now you know how to do repeating decimals, the easy repeating decimals. The moment you don't have, if you have like something outside of the repeating block, like that 58, that's when you enter into the algebra realm. So anything like 0.6, and then you have like 87, 87, 87, where that's repeating, but that 6 is outside, that's where you have to do the algebra part. But anywhere where it's just a pure repeating block, you just put it over that many 9s. All right, so that makes, it should make number 2 easy. And so this one, we saw that the decimal was 0.5833 continuous. The fraction we saw was 7/12, and so the ratio is 7 to 12.
Mr. Ray, excuse me.
Yes.
How do we come to this point where we have 0.5833? Does it mean that we divide the percentage by over 100?
Technically, you could do that as well to find the decimal. You could just say 58.
Yeah, because that was my own idea, because the 58 are in the 100 position.
Right, but the only problem is you have that repeating decimal there.
Okay.
And so you're gonna have to change that repeating decimal, and hopefully it's an easy one to a mixed number as 53 1/3 of a 100 if you do it that way. Because remember, percent is per 100, so it's that over 100, which is correct, but because of that repeating decimal, there's only 2 ways that you can change it, is to turn it into a fraction, and if you know what it is as a fraction, that's easy, or use the algebraic method to change it into a fraction. Or you could just do that part over 9, but I didn't want to overwhelm you. So what I mean is you can write it as 58 plus 3/9. Does that make sense?
Hey, Mr. Ray.
Don't worry about it. We'll stick with, I don't know, like I said, I didn't want to overwhelm you guys with different ways to go about it, but if you use the calculator, I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult there. Remember, 58 point, remember I said 58 point means and and's a plus sign, right?
Right.
And then that 3 with the repeating, remember how many digits are repeating?
1.
1, so you just say 3.
You do the 1 over the 9, 3 over the 9.
Right, and remember I told you before that mixed numbers are simply moving the plus sign from a number plus a fraction. So that's really 58 3/9 over 100. And you could put that in the calculator too.
So we can use calculator for these?
Yeah, you could use a calculator. I don't know if you guys remember, but
You're still going to teach us a lot more on the calculator, right? On all those buttons you push.
All the different buttons, you're going to learn how to do those. So let's look real quick, and I'll show you. You could do the same thing there, what I just said. You could do this as, if I hit the mixed numbers, second, and then the fraction button, 58. Remember, 3/9 reduces down to a third. So 3, come on, 3/9. I forgot to put it over 100. Well, just so divide it by 100. And you see, it would convert it to 7/12 for me. But it's just that the calculator doesn't have the option, at least I don't recall it having the option, to do a repeating decimal.
Mr. Rick, can you do one more time, like for the 58? You have to type in 58 first.
Oh, you do second?
Second. Oh, second
and then
first.
You see the fraction button, N over D?
Fraction button.
Right, above the fraction button, if I draw here, there's a mixed number button right there. So that U and D. So to get there, because it's green, I have to push the second button to get there. And then once I do that, I can type in the numbers because you see it's blinking. And because it's 58.3, well, instead of the 0.333 continuous, I can hopefully know that 0.333333 forever is a third, or I could use what we just learned, it's 3/9, right? So I could put, and 3/9 reduces to a third, but I could just put the 3/9 as well, and then divide it by 100, because that's what a percent is. And then if I hit equals 7/12. So
I'm coming up with a syntax error.
can you tell me what you typed in?
I did. Well, first of all, I pressed on, and then I did the second button, and then the U over ND.
Right, and then what you have typed in
And
there.
then it right off the top, Mr. Ray, it comes up with this little like U-shaped symbol before I even hit
put it
anything
in your
else.
camera? Can you get it close to your camera so I can see it?
I don't know if you could see it.
A little bit over. Okay, right. Okay, so you're gonna have to turn yours. Yours is in classic mode. So click on the mode button.
Okay, let me clear that. So mode.
And then you should see your classic is highlighted. Go and highlight math print.
Okay.
Yeah.
So always do this stuff in math print.
Yes, always in math print.
And then do second, and then mode again, which is
Mode
quit.
again, and that gets you back out. Yep.
Okay, so.
And now you should be able to do it real nice.
Mr. Ray, please, for the
Yes.
second time.
George?
Oh, yeah, you put that is 58.3, but I'm lost where we have that 3/9.
Okay, so did you see the part where we could change repeating decimals into fractions?
Okay. Let me use my own calculator.
Okay, let me show you real fast. Let's say I had 37.4 repeating.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's number one, and everybody could try this. Number two, let's say I had 17.6
Okay,
repeating.
now I figure out how to do it.
And then number three,
Yeah.
26.39 repeating. And then number four, I don't know, negative 18.261 repeating. And we're just going to use the calculator to change these into fractions. Right, so to do that, you just do second, I could clear this first. All right, so to do the first one, remember a mixed number is a whole number plus a fraction. Remember, a fraction is part of a whole. The decimal parts, I'm just gonna circle the decimal parts. The decimal parts of any number are equivalent to fractions. It's the whole number and then the fractional part, right? The whole number plus the fraction, that's what a mixed number is. So a decimal number that's bigger than 1 is literally a mixed number. So that means I could write the decimal part as a fraction. Now the problem is the line on top prevents me from typing it into my calculator. But we just learned a nice quick way to do that, and that's simply to look at how many times it repeats and put that over the same amount of nines. So to change that number into a fraction, I could use my trusty calculator, not have to worry about all that crazy math I showed you there. So all I have to do there, I'm just trying to erase this, is just hit my second button, hit the fraction that brings up the mixed number. What is the whole number that I put in there?
37.
37. And then to get to the fraction part, we learn to just take the repeating block as the numerator. So what goes in the numerator?
4.
And then what goes in the denominator?
9.
9. And so if I hit enter, I get the mixed number.
That's what I got.
Right, and that's what you get. Now, if you used to convert this back to a decimal, look what you get. 37.4444444 forever. All right, so now let's try for number 2. What would I type in? Second, then the fraction button changes it to a mixed number. So I have 7. What do I put in the mixed number part?
17.
17. What would I put in the numerator?
6.
And then what goes in as the denominator?
9.
9. All right, and there's my mixed number. Now remember, we're not doing the decimal. I'm gonna put percentages in after it. Right now, we just want to get the process down. And if I was to convert this back to a decimal by doing the second FD, 17.66666 forever. But because my calculator is truncating or estimating, it changes that last 6 to a 7. It's rounding. Just like we learned to round and we round up, that's what the calculator is doing. But you can see it's the same answer. It's the repeating decimal. All right, let's do the next one. I have 26.39 repeating. So second, hit the fraction button. It brings up the mixed number option. I type in 26, arrow. What do I put as the numerator?
39.
39, and what do I put as the denominator?
99.
99, and then it changes to me for a mixed number. Now we're going to put percentages at the end and convert those percentages into decimals. But right now, let's just get the hang of it down. Right, if I was to convert this back to a decimal, you're going to see 26.39393939393939 forever. And whenever you see that, you can assume that's repeating decimal. All right, and then the last one, just threw in something a little bit more challenging. Remember the negative button, do not hit the subtraction sign, hit the negative. If you hit subtraction, you're gonna get a syntax error.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so you hit the negative button. Then remember, because it's a mixed number, although it's a decimal, it's still a mixed number. It's a whole number with a part of a whole there. So second, you get to the mixed number. What's the mixed number that we, the whole number we put in there?
18.
18, we use arrow navigation. What do we put as the numerator?
261.
261, sorry, I put 260. 261 over what?
1,000.
Close, there's a repeating decimal.
Oh, 39.
999.
3 nines, 999, because it's 3 digits, 3 nines. 3 repeating, 3 nines. So then we just hit enter. Oh, sorry, I have to come up first. Then we hit enter, and it gives me my answer. Now, if I was to convert that back to a decimal by putting second, and where table is, you see above that F to D or D to F.
Right.
Change it back to a decimal. You see that 261, 261, 261. All right, so the beauty of the calculator, you don't have to learn that thing I showed you. You could just put it right in this system and it'll do it for you.
Mr. Ray,
Yes.
which one is the button for decimal?
You mean to change it to a decimal?
Yes.
Yes.
Right here, this FD. You see F, 2 arrows, and D?
You
The
press
two
enter.
arrows-
Okay.
So
You know, the F is for fraction and then the D is for decimal, right?
right, it's saying fraction to decimal or decimal to fraction.
Yeah, but after you press that button, you have to press anything else, Mr. Ray, or just that? Because it
Just push enter after you're done.
okay, I was missing that part. I was missing the enter part.
Oh yeah, so push enter. Most people look for an equal sign, but yeah, it's enter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Ray, does it go after we must have put the mode and the second button?
You said push the mode button?
I think that we have to do that, put the, after we must have put the second button and the mode.
Yeah, well, you don't have to push the mode. That's if you're quitting.
Ah, okay, the mode means quit.
Yeah, so you see above there, you see quit.
Yeah, okay.
So when you push second and then hit mode, you're really hitting the quit button. The second just lets you get to the green titles on each button.
And you put the information, okay. That is why I always have problem.
Okay, so yeah, now, but hopefully you got it now, right?
Yes, I got that.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now if I was just to put percentages there, percentage signs, you do the same thing, but remember percent means to divide by 100. So you can either divide it by 100 or you can use the percent, change to percent button right here. You could do that or divide it by 100, whichever one floats your boat, whichever one you like the best to convert that. You can even use the fraction button if you want and put it over 100. All right, so just to
Mr. Ray.
show you how you can convert. Hello? All right,
Yes.
so Sergio?
Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead.
I just want to understand right before you delete it.
Oh.
How you get the minus 18 sum? Because I tried to push the FD button and it take me to somewhere else.
Okay, I'll just, number 4, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we push the minus button down here, the negative button. The negative
Correct.
button.
I got all that.
Right, okay, so once you push the negative button, second to the mixed number, you type in the 18, 261 is the repeating
Correct.
block. Because it's 3 digits in the repeating block, you put 3 9s. Push your arrow out.
Correct.
And then hit enter. Once you hit enter, it gives you a mixed number. I mean, an improper fraction. To change the improper fraction to a decimal, don't do anything else. Just immediately just push second.
Okay.
And then the table button, which is the F to D. And notice it the calculator automatically takes the last thing that you've done, and it's going to change the last thing that you entered into a decimal. And now you just push enter.
Okay, let me see.
Did that work?
Oh, I see. I see. I missed the part.
Okay, yeah.
I missed the part. I got it now.
I'll send you some more stuff that we do today, and if you have questions, let me know.
Okay, appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Right. Yes, you're welcome.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Yes, have a great evening.
Bye.
All right, is that clear now how to use this part of the calculator?
No, not quite.
We
Because
still
my
need to
network
do
was
some
messing up.
exercise. Maybe
No, it's cool.
then-
We're keep going. You see, I put percentages sign. So let's try now with percentages. So with the percentages, right? Remember we're changing percentage into decimals and fractions and all that stuff. So it's a little bit different now because now it's 37 and a repeating decimal percentage. And I'm just trying to erase something. Can't do 2 things. How come I can't erase this? Erase. All right, there we go. All right, so to change 37 and 4.4444 repeating to a, let's say a fraction, we can type in the mixed number, second mixed number, 37. The 4 goes on top. Because it's a repeating decimal, we put it over 9. And then we could just hit the percent, oops, not that one. Make sure you hit just plain percentage sign. So second, just hit the second and then the percentage sign. Once you hit enter, it changes it for you, right? It shows you what it would be as a decimal. So that's what you would write in the decimal column. So you just change the percent to a decimal. Now that you have the decimal, you don't have to worry about any algebra. Just hit second, fraction to decimal, enter, and there you go. And you write that in. And then as a ratio, because that can't simplify anymore, that would be 337:900 as a ratio. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I'm going to reprint this worksheet and work on this all day tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, the more you do,
Just to practice to do the calculator portion of it, just all the functions on that.
right. Yeah, because you want to master the calculator, really up your score, because it can save you a lot of time and it's more accurate. All right, let's try the second one. You see 17.6 is repeating. It's a percentage now. I put the percentage sign in there. So we do second, hit the fraction n over d. That gives us the mixed number. That's that u and d you see in the green. Type in 17, go over. Because the repeating decimal is a 6, and then it repeats only once, so you use 19. And then second, you see the parenthesis, it has the percentage sign, so that's the one we push. And then enter. It changes it to a decimal for you. You don't have to do any fancy work. Once you do that, you want to know what your fraction is. Second, and then where you see table, above table is F, an arrow, another arrow, and then D, that means fraction to decimal. And because there's 2 arrows, it also means you could turn the decimal back into a fraction. So you push that button, do not do anything else. So take the previous answer, and then it changes that into a percentage, a decimal, fraction for you, 53 over 300. And then if you want to change that fraction to a ratio, it's 53 to 300, 53 colon 300.
Because you cannot simplify that anymore. That's why you do that, right?
Right, 53 is a prime number, so it can't go down anymore. All right, and then number 3, it's a percentage. So second, the fraction button, which gives us the mixed number. Because it's a repeating decimal and it's an easy repeating decimal, just simply 26, use your arrow. The repeating block is 39. And because it repeats twice, 3 and 9, right? 3 and 9 is 2 digits. Right, it's over 99, right? Because it's a percentage this time, we just hit second, go to where you see percentage, hit enter. Now it gives you that repeating decimal in decimal form. And then if you want to repeat that, change that to a fraction, second, the FD button, and then enter. Oops, what happened there? Let me clear that and start over. So second, fraction to decimal, and this one is so big, it can't change it to a fraction. That's the problem. So that means that the denominator is too large. So this one, the processing power just can't do it. If my scientific calculator, let me see if my computer can do it. Does the computer have that option? But sometimes that you won't get a question like that on a test. They're not going to pick something that's too complicated for the computer. for your calculator. So basically, it needs a more powerful calculator to do it. And it's, yeah, my scientific doesn't turn to a calculator. Fraction. All right, so that one is just a bit too high. And let's see if this one here, number 4, can change. It'll be difficult. So we do the same thing. Second, change it to a mixed number. Hit the negative sign down bottom, not the subtraction sign, 18. Come back out. The numerator is 261. It's 3 digits, so we put it over 999, 3 nines. Come back out, hit the second percentage sign. And if you hit enter, it changes it into repeating decimal. Now this repeating decimal is kind of long, so it might have the same trouble as the previous one. You see if it works. Change it into a fraction. Yeah, this one's too big as well. Too many repeating digits. But like I said, you wouldn't get something like that on the GD. Whatever they give you will always be able to change. This one would be something higher where you actually have to do the algebra, but you don't have to worry about that. I was just trying to give you more challenging ones so you can see how to do it. All right, so now let's go back to the worksheet. You guys see the worksheet, right?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna do number 2 and number 9, and maybe one else after than that. And number 5 is gonna probably give you some trouble because that's one of the ones you're gonna have to do with the fraction. So you could take number 5 out, with the algebra. So number 5 is algebra. You really want to learn it, I can show you how to do that one, but that's an algebraic one. And we haven't done algebra yet, so it don't make sense really learning it until we've done algebra. All right, so starting off with this one, we already done that one. It was 7/12, I believe, for the first one. For the second one, to change this one into a fraction, a percent, and a ratio, you could use your understanding of decimals. Because that's a repeating decimal, what would it be as a fraction?
6 9.
6 ninths, right? And 6 ninths reduces down to
2 thirds.
And remember, that's one of those fraction decimal combinations I said you should just know, right? 1/3, 2/3, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. Those ones people expect for you to just know off your head. So if you saw that one, that could pop up on a GED because they expect you to see that and just say 2/3. But if you forget, simply it's 6 over how many times it repeats, 9, and then reduce the fraction. So because it's 2/3, the ratio would be 2 to 3. And as a percent, you just simply say 66.6%. Remember, just move the decimal point over twice. Did that one throw anybody off?
Yes, repeat that.
Okay,
So,
let me just erase this part.
oh, okay, wait.
Remember, it's 0.66, 0.6 with the line on
Tens,
top.
hundreds, yes.
0.6.
Tens, hundreds. Gotcha.
Right.
I see what you did.
So you did 1, 2 times.
Yeah,
And then
66 point.
right. But those other 6s are still there.
Oh,
But
wow.
now
Okay.
now it's a percentage. So
Mr. Ray, let me ask something.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. When we look at 0.06, or let me say 0.6, it is one position, it's one place under tens. Why did we put the percentage in place of 100? It's supposed to have been, at least to me, I'll say it to be 6.6%.
Because that line right here means that those 6s go on forever to infinity and beyond. And because of that, we have to remember that that line means 0.666666666666666. You'd be there literally to the end of your life saying 6666, and other people's lives. Like, it does not end. It goes on forever. And because of that, we have to remember that when we move it twice, there are still other 6s that are following. And once we move the decimal point over, we still need to indicate that with the line on top, unless they ask you to round. If they ask you to round, it could be 66.7 or 67, etc. And so hopefully you guys are going back over your rounding if you've forgotten how to do that. But we did that a few weeks back. Okay, any other questions? I know this might be a little bit challenging, but that's why we're going over it over and over again. I said I wasn't going to do number 3, but I shall. All right, let's say we get it in ratio form, 8 to 9. What would that be as a fraction?
8/9.
8/9.
8/9. Now, for time's sake, I'm not going to do the long division. I'm just going to go over to your fraction, and you can just simply say 8 divided by 9. And that would give it to you in your decimal form. And then if you want to get it to percentage, just hit second percentage, and there you go. So basically, for that one, you had 8/9 as a decimal. It was 0.8, and you probably could have figured that out just by looking at that 9. And sorry for picking a hard worksheet. There was 2 of them, and I just chose this one. I should have chose the other one. It might not have had all these repeating decimals. But it's good because now it challenges your brain. And you know you can do something. When you get to the regular ones, you're going to breeze through it like, oh, this is simple. So look at the bright side. All right, and so as a percentage, the same thing, because this is 0.8888888 forever, then when you move the decimal point over twice, it's going to be 88.8%. Now, if they ask you to round it, depending where they ask you to round it, it could end up being 88.9%. Okay, is this challenging anyone? Is it getting any better?
Getting a little bit better. I like 4 because that's easy.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's easy. That's what we want to hear. All right, so I'm gonna do number 4. This one is definitely much easier. No repeating decimals happening there. Remember, just skip out number 5. You can learn how to do it. It's not that difficult, but if you don't know algebra, it's going to be difficult to do number 5. So just scratch number 5 out. All right, to turn this decimal into a fraction, that's, how do we say that decimal?
1/4.
Okay,
Divided by 100.
Hopefully you just know what that is, right? That's one of those ones you just want to know. But yes, that's 25 hundredths. And 25 hundredths reduces down to a quarter. What would that be as a percent?
25%.
25%. And what would it be as a simplified ratio?
1/4.
1/4. Right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So can I clear that or?
Great.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. A. And the one number 5, you said, how we can identify one of those without get into it? Or what's yeah, in case I'm on the test, we find one of those Probably not this one, but another one.
I don't think they'll give that to you on the test, but you need to know algebra first to do that. So like you can't even really, yeah, even on the calculator it's gonna be a little bit difficult. So you have to do this using an algebra skill, and we haven't done algebra yet, so I don't want to even bring it up yet. So I doubt it will be on the test, but once we get to algebra, I can always bring it back up. So algebra is in unit 3, if that makes sense. So we're still on unit 1. So once we get to unit 3, we'll learn the skills that are needed to do that for number 5. All right?
Okay. All right.
All right, perfect.
Thanks.
All right, number 6 is pretty straightforward. And let me write down Justine. So what would number 6 be? What would we have to do there? What's 40% mean as a fraction per cent?
40
over 100.
40 over 100, right? And that can reduce down to 4/10,
5/8.
which can reduce down to 2/5, right?
Yeah.
So if you can see that right away, you could just go ahead and put 2/5. What would that be as a decimal?
Divided by 5.
0.4.
0.4, right?
0.4.
0.4. And what would that be as a ratio?
2 to 5.
2 to 5.
Right? Is it making more sense now that we're seeing it?
Yes.
Some of the easier ones, yeah, but those first ones we started with were terrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just grabbed the sheet. It said A. You know, you see it on top. Is worksheet A. So I'm thinking worksheet A is the easier one. Unless worksheet B is even harder.
Yeah.
But I thought I shared this with my other class, and I don't remember them having all these repeating decimals. All right, so the second one. Any questions with the second one? You think that's pretty straightforward, right?
You mean 7?
Yeah, 7, sorry.
Yeah. So that'd be 9 over 10.
Yeah, 9/10.
Fraction.
And what would it be as a percent?
90.
90%, and as a ratio?
9
to 10.
9 to 10. Right. I'm pretty sure number 8 should be a breeze as well. Number 9, any idea what number 9 would be as a decimal?
Yeah. It's going to be 0.22.
Just 2 or 2 continuous, like forever?
Yeah, with a repeater.
Okay, yeah, that's the answer, right? Because it's over a 9. So that 2 over 9 is going to tell us that that's going to be a repeating decimal.
And Mr. Ray, since it keeps on going on the 2s, obviously you just put over the first 2, you put the thing over, right?
Yeah, you don't have to write all the other 2s because the 2s are actually repeating.
Okay.
All right, and what would this be as a percentage?
20.
22% with the bar over the.
Because we got more than 1, 2, huh?
Right, yeah, those 2s are repeating forever. So 22.2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and so you just put the line on top of the decimal part.
And then as a ratio, it would be 2 9, right?
2 9s, yeah. All right, I skipped number 8. Does anyone need me to do number 8? It was pretty straightforward, I thought, but you know, just in case.
75%, 0.75.
Yeah, there we go. That's 75%. We should know that. Hopefully, 3/4, 3/4, and so 0.75.
We should have got all of them like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm right there. I'm sorry. That's what I thought the sheet was, and I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. You know, it challenged me. I worked on this, you know, for a while, and then I finally said, you know, I'm gonna have to ask Mr. Ray.
Well, it's good in a sense because now you learn something new, right?
Right. Yeah. You know.
Now we can use our calculator.
Yeah, and you learn how to use the calculator because even that other question you asked me that time, Daniel, where I did not expect it was just that one question. It wasn't in the student book, and there was only one question in the workbook. And when you asked it, I was like, I'm glad you asked it because it could be 2 questions on the test, you know.
Mr. Ray, please permit me. How do we convert the decimal to? How do we convert a decimal to percentage?
You could, if you mean by calculator or by hand.
By hand.
Okay, by hand, you could just move the decimal point twice. So let's say you had 0.25. You can either times it by 100 or move the decimal point to the right twice. And that becomes 25%.
So we divide by 25. Okay, the 0.25 by 100.
Right. If you want to multiply it, you times it by 100. And because 100 has 2 zeros and you're going in the positive direction, what's happening is the numbers are moving in the positive direction. So technically the decimal point goes the other way. 2 decimals to the 2 place values to the right.
Okay.
All right, and number 10, that should be straightforward as well, right?
Right.
What would that be as a decimal?
0.20.
0.2. What would it be as a fraction?
20 over 100.
Right, but that could reduce down to, I thought I heard it.
Reduce it.
By 20, so 1 and 5.
Right.
1/5, and as a ratio?
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
Right, I think it was just 10 questions, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. That's how you do that crazy worksheet that might have drove you crazy, but now you know how to do it. And if you explain it to someone else, because I'll just be honest, the average person does not know how to do these. And sadly, because of it, some curriculums, they start to take it out. Like it used to be common knowledge that they always teach, but you know, sometimes it's like, all right, let's take this out. It's been too challenging for people. But you know, like I said, the GD could have the simple ones. They won't have this one. They won't have number 5. Well, at least I hope they don't have number 5. But they would have the other simple ones like 0.6 or 0.3 repeating. Okay, so it was a good thing there. Hopefully no one needs this. I'm about to go back to the other stuff there. And yeah, so you can match your answers up there. All right, any other questions? If not, we're going to go back to the last part of percentages, if I could find my worksheet there. Any other questions with the calculator?
I think that that's going to be a lot of practices as we kind of go through, but yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of questions.
Yeah, so because we're going to do the unit review in the student book, so that's going to give you the opportunity to work with the calculator now, what we learned by hand. So let me just show you something real quick. Let's remember the mixed numbers gave us a lot of trouble when we went over them. Remember now you could just actually put the mixed number in there if you don't have to show you're working, if they just ask you to solve it, and it's the calculator usage part, which is the majority of the test. You could just say 3/3 minus, let's say they gave it to you as an improper fraction, 15 over 7. You could just put that right in the calculator and you get your answer. Right, if obviously they don't want it in improper fraction form, so then you can change it from a fraction back to a mixed number by using that button there. So you do second and then change your number that's there. Don't do anything, just go ahead and hit it. And it's going to change 25 over 21 into a mixed number for you. And that's how you,
let me ask,
21s, yeah.
Yeah.
Following the calculator, there are 2 percentages there. I don't know how, is there any difference?
Yes, one of them is setting the number as a percentage. And then the other one is changing any number that you could think of, a fraction, a decimal, mixed number, into a percentage. So whenever you see an arrow, whatever the arrow is pointing to, that's what it converts whatever number you have into. So it converts it into a percentage.
But the first one is already a percentage.
The first one is you're setting your number as a percentage.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the second one is for you to convert to any percentage. Okay.
Convert any number into a percentage.
So every time you're doing like any fraction, let's say you put second and then mixed numbers, and then you press the arrow, and then whatever you're gonna convert to, you push the second, and then either percentage or table or fraction, and then enter, right? So
right.
It seems like you always, after you put all your numbers, you have to go to second, whatever it is that you want to do as far as percentage or fraction, and then enter.
Right, then enter.
Right?
Yep, that's correct. And like you just said, let's say I had a mixed number and I wanted that as a percentage. And let's say it was some crazy, 87 or something like that. And I want to change that to a percentage. Second, hit the percent. You see the arrow saying change this number into a percent. And then hit enter.
Right? Okay.
Right. So then it shows me what it is as a percentage.
Okay.
And then if I want to change it back to, let's say, a fraction, an improper fraction, then I just hit second FD. Well, that might work. Let me see. Yeah, so now I could do it. I had to do that one twice. But yeah, that number's too large. So
Okay.
what happens if you get what we call an irrational number, a number that repeats so much, it's very difficult for the calculator to turn it back into a fraction. So you're not going to get that on the test, though. But that's how you do it. So something simple like 3 1/3, right? And you want to convert that into a fraction. You hit that button there. Change it from a mixed number into a fraction.
Okay.
But those crazy numbers that I put up, they're not, the tests are proofread, so they're not going to give you something that the calculator can't handle.
Now, Mr. Reed, just like you did that one answer you just had up there, how it was 10/3, you can't answer that in the GD. You always have to work that down, right?
Right. So to change that back to a mixed number,
you have
can,
to.
Right.
Unless
I
they
just showed you how you can go back
specifically
and
ask for
forth. Yeah, they ought to say write it as a mixed number. This is the way they would want it, as 3/3.
Yes,
So
correct.
let me do it the other way. Let's say you get a improper fraction. Let's say it's 89/7, right? You could just say second fraction to mixed number, and then it's going to change it to the mixed number for you, right? But you still want to know how to do it, because I mean, there's a few questions they ask you to do by hand, and like I said, when you get to algebra, the calculator doesn't do algebra. TI does make calculators that can do algebra for you, but at this level, it can only do the unit 1 mathematics.
So, Mr. Ray, that 12/5/7, can you to do that to a percentage, you hit second and then the percent button?
The arrow percent button.
Okay, the arrows, because you're going to convert to. That's why.
Right,
Okay.
you want to convert it to a percentage.
And
If you hit the percentage button, you're saying that it's 12 5/7%. That's different than converting it into a percentage.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you hopefully you see what I mean. If I click this and then just hit second percent, these are two different numbers. You see that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So,
okay, I got you.
Yeah. All right. So play around with the calculator, even do some stuff that we've done before. And we're going to be using the calculator, but you do want to get your hang of it and like what you like, because it's very powerful. You like just to say, like, to get to school, somebody might take the back road, and then someone who takes the back road may decide to go straight before they turn left on Citrus, right? Somebody might take the freeway. So with the calculator, you can have kind of like your way of doing things.
Right. I think I'm going to reprint that worksheet we did last night and just try and do all the converting with the calculator. Yeah, and that way it's just going back and forth using the calculator. It'd be good practice anyways.
That's what you want to do. It gets you really comfortable with the calculator, and so that you can wield that calculator on the test like it's your own calculator. That's what you want.
Especially all right. If you got some of the answers already, you know for sure that you have to get to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct.
Right.
That'll help, yeah.
Yeah, so it really can perfect your working there. All right, so now if there are no other questions, we'll go right
Mr. Ray,
back. Yes.
There is, I'm sorry. Could you please explain how to go through from ratio to get all these others, the percentage, the decimals, and the fraction? I'm having a hard time with that.
Okay,
when you only have the ratio. I know how to make the ratio a fraction, but what happens from that point on?
Okay, so once you do it, if you can use your calculator, if you're on the calculator usage, 3 to 8 turns to 3/8, and you can either use long division to get the decimal and then the percentage, or you can use the calculator if they, on that part of the test, you can use your calculator. So if you can, then you just simply take 3/8 and you could just say 3 divided by 8, and that's your decimal number. And then to get your percentage, just hit second, change to a percentage, and hit enter. So there's your 3 answers.
So it would be 0.375 times 100.
Well, yeah, if you want to change it to a percent.
Yeah, I'm talking about doing it by hand, because the calculator, I kind of have a hang of it, but I just want to be able to know the process and what I'm doing if I would have to do it by hand, and it's giving me a hard time on some of these.
By hand. Okay, let's do one by hand. Let's do the same one by hand. So if they said no calculator portion and you was given 3/8 and they want to see like what is that percentage, if it's a part to part fraction, then you write it as 3/8. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to need to divide that. And so hopefully remember, we switch the order in long division. So 8's going to go first, then the 3.
Okay.
Right? And then we're going to, 8 can't go into 3, so answer enters into the decimal round.
Gotcha.
So then we say, how many times can 8 go into 30?
3.
3, yeah. 8 times 3?
24.
24. And then we're going to subtract those 2.
Right.
6.
And then we're going to have to bring down another 0.
0, yeah.
And how many times can 8 go into 60?
5.
5.
All right. And is it 5? No, more than 5.
6 por 8, 7, no.
Yeah, 7. 8 times 7 is 56.
7.
Where's my pen? Okay, there we go. So 7.
Yeah, 7, my bad.
Yeah, 8 times 7 is 56. 60 subtract 56 is 4. We have to add another 0 there to bring down. And how many times can 8 go into 40?
5.
5 times, and that goes evenly. 8 times 5 is 40, so we know we're done. And that's our decimal answer, which is the same up here.
Yep, that part is the one that I keep missing.
Right.
So just knowing the order in which doing it long division, which one goes inside and which ones stays outside.
Right. And so you remember when we were on decimal division, I kept pushing that. Like you really have to get that down, because if you're asked to do it without a calculator, you're going to have to remember the order of long division. Yeah. And how the GED works, they will put the answer there, sadly, for the other way around. You know,
they try to trick you a lot, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of, they will have the wrong answer if you mix it up. And sometimes they put it for A or B. So you see it, you're like, woo, got that right.
Mr. Let us convert it into percentage. That same number, that 3 divided by 8, yeah.
That's what I started to do, but I wrote it out wrong. So 375 was it? So to do that now to percentage, remember percentage times it by 100, which is the same as moving the decimal point twice.
Right, yeah.
37.5%.
Cool.
So those will be your answers. 3/8.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And you want to practice that as well. Practice mastering the calculator, practice mastering it arithmetic-wise. And it's going to really open the door to understanding algebra. And we're almost there now. We're finishing unit 1. So,
okay.
All right. Any other questions?
Thank you for your patience.
No problem. That's what you guys are here for, is to learn it. So,
Mr. Reggie, if we have to, I know I'm kind of jumping the gun now, but if we have to take the class again because we can't pass the GED, will be the same class and start all over? Is that what it would be?
Yeah, that's how it works. Each semester that we have it starts back over.
Okay.
So come January, whoever the teacher is, it will start at the beginning.
Okay, if we don't pass the test, right?
Yeah, but don't say that. You're going to pass the test.
I'm like, there's things that I don't want to hear again, and there's things I would like to hear again. That's why I was asking. You know?
Oh, okay.
It'll be at the beginning, and then at some point it'll get interesting, and I don't think I want to do it. I mean, I like it, but I don't want to do it again.
Right, I feel you. But what you really want is that whatever you learn forever.
Okay.
That's what you really want. You don't want to just say, oh, I got it, and the test is over. Forget that stuff. Math is always used in life, and because we're entering into a very heavily technological world, a lot of it's backed by mathematics, and that's why the GED gets harder like every so years.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
I have a quick question, Clemente.
Yes, Clemente.
Okay, the test, we're gonna take it in December, right?
Well, that's kind of like you could take it whenever, but the goal is that by the time you finish, you should be ready to take it in December.
Okay, so I don't, if I do pass it on that day, I don't have to take any other classes, do I?
No, you don't. If you pass it, let's say you decide to take it tomorrow and you pass it, that's our whole goal, that you pass the test.
Okay,
so some people come in and they just need to do a certain part. Like some people.
How many questions is gonna be on the test?
Wasn't it like 47, I think?
I'll tell you in a moment. I always forget.
55.
It's 46.
It's in the book.
Yeah, it's 46 questions.
46.
They vary slightly. So you might get 48, you might get 44, you might get 50, but it's on average about 46 questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ray. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go on now. We're going to finish off with our percentage section. And I'm going to reshare. Okay, where is it? Oh, no, it's over here. I'm sorry. Got so many stuff open. Unit 1. All right, and clear and share. All right, so you should see the books, right?
Yep.
And remember, you can also go to this page. It has a lot of instructions to help you in case you forget. Remember, that's XII 12, page 12 on the Roman numerals of any book. Any book. It doesn't matter if it's English, language arts, social studies. This is on every book. All right, so you can find that there. It has all the instructions in case you forget. All right, so we are on the last part of the unit. Let me just change the view.
We're going to the student book, right, Mr. Ray?
Yeah, student book now. And we started number 1, and I was showing you how to do it by hand. And then I was like, I really wanted to get you guys exposed to the calculator. And I said we was going to pick up where we left
Mr. Ray,
off.
page what? Which page is that?
15? No, that's not right.
14, 15.
Okay, 15, yeah.
Yeah, 15, yeah. So 14 in the student book.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where we left off, number 1. And you want to know how to do it with calculator and without calculators. So remember 27, when we read this question, it says what percent of children in the neighborhood are in elementary school? And it says in the neighborhood, 27 are in the elementary school, and it's a total of 45. So that's part of a whole. So 27 is the part, 45 is the whole. You have a variety of ways to find the answer. You can divide this using long division, get it into decimal form, and then convert the decimal to a percentage. You could use a calculator, of course, and there's a variety of ways to do it in the calculator. And then there's the proportion method, and I would do the proportion method again. The rules to the proportion method can be found up here in case you need it, right here. And that's what I would do real fast. We did, on Tuesday, we did the division method, the one where you divide using long division. And I briefly went over the proportion method. Now remember, the proportion method works like this. It's part of a whole, which is your fraction. And remember, a fraction is equivalent to a percentage. And a percentage is per cent or per 100. And whatever the per is the rate. It's actually the percentage that they say. All right? Now, instead of writing the percentage symbol, we can write X or whatever the percent is. So in here, they want to know what the percentage is. So the percentage is X, and a percentage is written as per 100. And so you would cross multiply, as we learned before, 27 times 100 is 2,700. You would cross multiply, 45 times X is 45X. And then you divide both sides by 45. That will cancel. If you're doing it without a calculator, you're going to have to write it as 45 into 2,700. and see how many times it goes. 45 into 200. Remember the shortcut, you can say how many times does 4 go into 27, that can help you out. 4 goes into 27 about 6 times, which means more than likely 6 will be the answer that will work, but you always want to check. So 45 times 6, 6 times 5 is 30, carry the 3, 6 times 4 is 24 plus the 3, and it goes nice and evenly there. So 45 goes into 270 6 times. 45 times 6 is 270, and that subtracts down to 0. Because we have those 2 zeros, we know there's a 0 there as well, because 45 goes into 0 0 times. 45 times 0 is 0, and so you still end up with 0. So because you got a quotient of 60, that is 60%. All right, so that's the proportion method. Anyone likes the proportion method?
I liked it. I was able
Yes.
to, you can get,
Yeah.
Yes, that's
when you try to do get a you know, to put a tip down, and they suggest like 20, 10, 15, and I was playing around with that, and it's actually pretty nice. You know, you can get your percentage and then add it to your total, and then it give you, you know, like the total with the amount and the percentage of the tip.
You said what was that?
I'm sorry. No, I said I was playing around with it last time.
Oh, okay.
And it works out really good. Like this method you just teach us.
Right, okay.
Yep.
I heard the last part, but I wasn't sure if you said this method or some other device you had used.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, I think Jacob had said he used an app or something, so I thought you had an app too or something.
Oh, no. I just did this, what you just show us right now. You know, let's say
Right.
whatever amount of money was, let's say 35 times 100 divided by 45, and it always gives me that, you know, that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and the proportion method's a good method to learn because you could use it in proportions, you could use it in percentages, and you will use it in geometry and in algebra. So if you master it, it's a good thing to know. If you don't like it that way, it's fine. You can use the other methods. Remember, again, you can use the calculator to do that. Just simply do 27 over 45. So if you're actually on the calculator usage part, which is the majority of the test, you can just simply put the fraction, 27, what was it, 45, and you can do second, change to a percentage, and you get the 60%. So of course the calculator is like super fast, but so if you're on a part where you can use the calculator, then I mean, go ahead and do it. All right, so if we go back now to the next question, let me see. Okay, 60%, that's correct, Veronica.
Whoa. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It gave me a completely different result, so I was just trying to figure out why.
Did you get it fixed? Did you push percentage or change to a percentage?
I pressed second and the option for percentage.
Did you put arrow percentage or percentage?
Percentage.
Right, you want to use arrow percentage because you're changing the fraction into a percentage.
Oh, okay, it's the one right next to it. Gotcha.
Right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And in case someone else didn't know that, if you're having trouble, I know some people won't let me know, but if you did, let me go back to that screen real fast, as that is and George had asked me about that question, about that one. There's a difference.
So the arrow is indicating a conversion, right? You're going to convert into.
Right.
Okay.
This one here is to convert or change it into a percentage. Whereas this one is to state that it's a percentage.
Nice. Okay. Better. Well,
right.
So 27, 45.
Now, the alternative way is to kind of use your understanding of arithmetic, and that is to say you can change it. You can say 27 divided by 45, changes it to a decimal, and then times it by 100. Like I said, there's a lot of ways to go about it. I don't want to overwhelm you, so let me not. All right, so let's go back to see which one first, because some of these are different. All right, so try number 5 for me. Number 5 is similar to what we've done. The Strikers girls soccer team won 9 of its 13 games. The Strikers won approximately how many games?
13 games. They won 9.
They won 9 out of 13. So how much
Are
is
we
that?
working on the student book or workbook?
Student book.
C.
My question.
69.2.
I hear C is an answer.
Yes.
Okay. Any other agreements to that? All right, Veronica, C.
Mr. Ray, what page are we on?
Page 15 in the student book.
Oh, okay.
All right, and just for time's sake, C is the answer. And you can do it a variety of ways. I believe the calculator is, most of you are getting the hang of it. If you like the proportion method, you say part of a whole, right? 9 out of 13 is equal to what a percent is. Percent is the percent, which we'll put X. Is that what we're trying to find the percent this time? The percent over 100, that's what a percent is, right? And just cross multiply, that would be 900 is equal to 13x, and then just divide 900 by 13. And just for time's sake, it's going to be approximately 69.2. All right?
Okay.
Yes.
Whenever you do the proportion method, your answer is coming out in percentage form, so keep that in mind. All right, can I clear that?
Yeah.
All right, any questions for number 5?
No.
If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. All right, number 6 is asked a bit differently. You can solve it any method that you want. You do want to practice doing it by hand, but I don't mind if you use the calculator. At Bright Minds Learning, 75% of employees work as instructors. There are 300 employees at Bright Minds Learning. Drop down means that you click the drop down on the computer test and answers will pop up, and then you would choose the right answer. So is it A, B, C, or D as your answer? %75 of the employees. And if you remember how to do percentages as a child, you could do that one as well, 75% of the employees. All right, so I see.
It will be 225.
Say that again, George?
225 employees.
25. And George, did you do proportions or the calculator? Or
I use a
else?
calculator. No, I just do it offhand like that,
All
using
right.
our normal arithmetic.
Okay. And Daniel, how about you? What did you use?
I just used my head in this one. It was pretty simple.
Well, yeah, you could do that. Some of you guys will tell you you could just think about it. I mean, because it's a 300, it makes it easier.
Right.
Yeah. And Justine, did you want to say how you did yours, if you don't mind? Because all those are correct. That's why I'm asking you guys.
I did it by head.
Okay, that's fine. That's a pretty straightforward one. You could just say 75 times 3. That's
right.
what we've done that, right? 75% of 100 is 75. If it's 300, 75 times 3 will give you 225. You could just reason that 75% of 300 is a large amount, and it's not going to be 200 because 200 would be 2/3. 2/3 is 66%. It's definitely not the other two because those are too little, and you could reason that it's D. Or you could use the proportion method. You could say you're trying to find the part, so you don't know what the part is, over the whole, and the whole in this case is 300. The percent is 75 over 100. And you can replace that part with X because that's what you're looking for. And you can cross multiply. It's going to be a little bit more work if you do it this way, but you get the picture. You're going to have 100x is equal to 75 times 300. And that's going to be 22,500, 22,500, and divide both sides by 100, and that's how you can find your answer of 225.
I have a question for Daniel.
Daniel,
Yes.
question for you.
Hey Daniel,
Uh-oh.
how did you reason with that in your head? How did that make sense in your head?
Well, to me, in this particular case, when you're talking, I did 75% out of every 100. So I took the 75 times 3. 75 and 75 is 150 plus 75 is 225.
Gotcha. Okay.
Equals D. So.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, and so like I said, you could do any of those methods. Another method is you could say 75% is 0.75 and times that by 300 because the word of indicates multiplication. So you could do that in your calculator really quick as well. Or as we stated before, and Daniel confirmed again, taking 75% of 100, timesing it by 3. And that's why you could just say 75 times 3, right? And that's actually one of our rules that we do. All right, so any other questions?
Yeah. No, just because 75% equals 3/4, right?
Yeah, you could do that as well. You could turn it.
No, okay. So yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, you could have said 3/4, and the word of indicates multiplication of 300. You could do it like that as well.
Okay. Thanks.
And yeah, there's a lot of ways you could do mathematics. We try to teach you a method, but it's best if you can get what works for you. Okay, so that's the answer there, D. And let's see, before we do any of the other challenging ones. All right, number 7. This is more of a GED style question and a realistic approach to wages. It says Tia earns, and put your name in there, might make it easier for you. So just say your name, say me, Tia earns $552 per week. Of this amount, 12% is deducted for taxes. How much is deducted each week for taxes there? And you could do this one in your head as well.
Yeah.
All right, I see C as an answer.
$66.224.
Okay, her C, another C.
I got C.
Okay, another C. Who was that?
Justine.
Justine, okay, so Justine, a C as well. All right, a lot of C's. Veronica, Marisol, Susanna. And normally if you hear me just say your name, it's because you guys got it right. So yes, C is correct. Yes, William, you're correct as well. Anyone wants to explain the method they did to do that? It normally helps other people as well. So does anyone want to explain what method they went about to do number 7?
I can.
Okay, go ahead.
I just multiplied 552 times the 12%, and I got 6,624.
You said 6,000?
Yeah, 6,624, and I just
then you divided it by 100.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you just did the basic multiplication, and that's fine if you do it that way. Anyone else? And if you heard what Justine said,
I just did it in my head. It just happened to fit, but.
Okay, well, I'm glad it just happened to fit. just happened to be right. Anyone else? Did you use the calculator? Did you use the proportion method? Did you just use basic multiplication? Did you just guess it? All right, so any of those methods will work. 552 per week, and then it says of this amount, so it's kind of letting you know. I prefer multiplying it as well. If you use a calculator, you can just say 12% times 552. You could do what Justine did to forget the percent for then, just say 12 times 552, and then because of the percent, divide it by 100. That works as well. There's a lot of ways you could approach this. You could do it in your calculator as well. Just do 12% times 552. Doing it as a proportion, for those who like the proportion methods, the part is taxes, so your taxes is your part. Your whole is the 552, which you actually make, and then it's 12% over 100, right? So that means your X would be the taxes, and you just say 100X. And it basically works out to be the same as what Justine said. Multiply that to be 6,624, and then divide both sides by 100. All right, so from the looks of it, most of you guys have mastered that. So that takes us now to the last parts of percentages, and that is to do a percentage increase and decrease. Now, sometimes percentage increase or decrease is stated to be just percentage change, because you're changing. You're either changing for the better, or it depends on what it is. So you're either changing to get higher or changing to get lower. If it's your salary, an increase is a good thing. If it's your mortgage, that's a bad thing. But increase or decrease is something we deal with every single day. So here's an example of how it can be done. There's, like I said, there's a variety of ways, but the general rule, and the rule that you're going to see in your book, is basically the change to whatever the change is. And the change can also be written as the difference. So the difference, so simply subtract your answers. The difference divided by the original amount times 100. Right? The timesing 100 is what changes it back to a percent. So the difference just means to subtract the two amounts, then divide it by whatever the original amount is, because you're taking the difference as a part of a whole. And then you times it by 100. Now that part there is really important. Most people mix up what to divide it by. You're dividing it by the original. The original is whatever you started with. So you have to read the question carefully to know what you started with. So this one here, it says last year, Kareem paid $750 a month in rent. This year he pays $820. So there's been a change. There's a difference. So we subtract the two, and we could write it all together as 820 subtract 750, and then we divide it by the original. What was the original amount? What he started with.
It's 820.
750.
No, 750.
Oh my goodness.
750 was the original, what he started with last year. Right, so that's the base price. He started with the 750.
Yeah.
And then once you get your answer, you could just times it by 100. So let me show you the same thing in a calculator. You could do it all at once in your calculator. This one I would suggest maybe not do it in your head. A lot of people have been, but when you get to percentage change, normally it's larger numbers. So you could use the fraction option. Sorry, you don't have to push second. Come on. Just hit the fraction. You could do 850 minus, was it 750? I forgot already.
750.
It was 850 minus 750?
Yes.
Okay, minus 750.
Was it 720?
I thought it was 820.
I
820.
forgot already. So what was it?
820.
Okay, sorry. 820 subtract 750. All right, and then over the original amount. And you can either times it by 100 right away. You can hit enter and then change it to a percentage. Either way will work. If you do it that way, I forgot, it's going to change. The calculators put it that way. Hold on, let me do it another way. So we're going to do 820 minus 750, I think it was, all over 750. All right, and just going to change that answer into a percent. And there we go. That was a 9.3333 blah, blah, blah percent. All right, so that's, you could just do it one time, or you could split it up. If you split up your answer, you just say 820, subtract 750, get your answer, divide it by the original amount, get your answer, times that answer by 100. And you can still get the answer the same way. But if you just like to do stuff fast because you want to finish the test, efficiency is the best thing on a time test.
And right here, it's not considering the 0.3. It's just it rounded it 9%.
Yeah, in the test on that book, it rounded it for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't give you the option, so it just rounded it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, this one just rounded it. Let me see that they have any.
Which in that case, you round down, right? I mean, it's.
Well,
Yeah.
they'll normally tell you. Sometimes the books, I mean, the books are written by people, so sometimes they don't put the instruction in. But on the test, it's really vetted. It's vetted by like multiple people. So if somebody saw that, they'll say, hey, you forgot to put round. And so then they're going to make sure it's written there on the test. All right, so now let's go to number 8. Can you guys do number 8 and decide what is the raise? What was the percentage increase in his raise? Andrew received a raise from $24,580 a year to $25,317.40 per year. What was his percentage raise?
Okay.
Make sure you identify what the original amount was. And I see answers popping up, and let's see. All right, Daniel, that's correct. Now, they don't give you this formula on the test, so you have to remember that percentage increase or decrease is simply find the difference, divide it by the original amount, times it by 100, or change it to a percentage. William, that's correct as well.
Huh. It gave me a negative answer.
Did you put it? That's depends on how you wrote it. Did you write the smaller number first?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why.
Yeah.
In the old
That's
way.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I see what happened.
Yeah. So
that's what I always do, but I just ignore it. You know,
Okay.
at the end of the day.
Now, the thing is, on GED, it doesn't matter. But in if you do a college entrance exam, it does. The minus sign would normally tell you that you're doing a decrease. But since you're doing a raise, it should have been positive. And that means you have to put the bigger number first.
So yeah, so it would just make sense to write down the bigger number first,
right?
Then the
So
smaller one, and just identify the original one, and then it's divided by that one.
Right. So at the GED level, all they care about is that you know what the difference is. So always put the bigger number first.
Okay, thank you.
And then you always get your answer. But at a college level, college entrance exam, the order is actually important because you would literally have to write the negative or the positive. But at the GED, they will tell you whether it's a negative or a positive.
Okay.
Yeah.
But can't you, Mr. Ray, can't you just get rid of the minus? I mean,
you can get rid of the minus. It's just that if you do that on a college entrance exam, that minus is important. The minus tells you you're getting a deduction.
Right. But I mean, I gave you the answer was 3.
The only reason I say that because you just have to be careful. I know you got it, but I have to be careful what I communicate. So
correct. I get that. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Ray.
Yes.
So this is Salvador. Mr. Ray, so I was a little lost. I'm still a little lost. So for that I was 25,317.40 minus 24,580 equals 727. And then what do I do after that?
Okay, and then divide it by the original amount. So this was the original amount. That's his base price.
So divided by the 24,580, right?
Right. So let me do that. You guys should all have your books there. I think I forgot the answer.
Enter?
Yes.
Enter. Okay.
And did you get it?
I got it. Yeah, I think I should have put second and then division, or what?
Depends how you wrote it out. Did you do the shortcut way, or you put everything together?
I did the 25,317.40 minus 24,580, and then it gave me 7 37, and I divide that by the 24,580, and it gave me a weird number.
What number did it give you?
0.03.
Okay, times that by 100.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. 737.4.
Yeah, there you go. That's your answer.
Is it 3?
Yeah, it's 3.
Oh.
And what else is, what's that? C, I think it is?
B.
Oh, it's B. Let me see. I was telling people yes to C.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was telling people yes. Oh, I'm sorry. So 2 people that wrote C, I told you yes, but it's 3. And that's because Daniel wrote 3, and then I saw C, and I don't know what happened. And then I said yes. So if you wrote, sorry, if you put C, it was because I had just told Daniel yes.
And actually, I got it wrong because I should have put the letter. In the GED,
letter?
they're going to want the letter, not the
Oh,
number.
well, yeah, that's, yeah, if the technical answer is yes, the letter. But in terms of the choice of letters, forgive me if I told you yes and you had C, it's B. And it's only because I was just following suit saying yes, yes.
Mr. Ray, so
yes.
So I got 25,317.40 minus 224,580 equals 737 divided by the original, and it gave me 0.03 times 100, and it gave me that 3.
Right.
Gifted.
Oh, okay.
So, right, I just put what you wrote right up there on the screen, so everybody should see that. So Marisol, yes, that's correct. You had written B. So everybody sees that. This is you know, doing it step by step. You put the number up top, you subtract it, you get your answer. That's the difference, right? Remember the difference. And then you're going to divide the difference
by the original.
And so the original in that case was 24,580. It gives you an answer of 0.03, but remember the last step is to times it by 100.
I'm sorry.
Times it by 100, you could do it in your head, 1, 2 decimal places, and so that's your final answer as a percent. What you could do is say times it by 100%. That way you remember it's a percent sign after the 3. Yes.
Mr. Ray, on my calculator, when I push the percentage K, it keeps appearing just the K.
You said the K? Like the letter K?
Yes.
It's probably like the C, no? Isn't it like the parenthesis sign?
The letter K.
No, you know, in the bottom it says K and the percentage. Every time I trying to do one of those math, I push the percentage and just the K and some other numbers. I don't know if you remember earlier, one of the have the mold group.
Sergio, your mic.
The wrong one.
I don't know if it's just me.
Calculator.
Okay, try it again. All this time your mic was like choppy and I could not hear what you were saying. Hello? Sergio, you still there?
I know. I can't hear one either.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it was my side or your side.
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me now? Okay, say it one more time, please.
Oh, yes. When I push the percentage button, all what appears is the K instead of the sign of a percentage.
The K?
I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You said a K. I'm not sure why you're getting a K. Like the letter K?
You see the bottom just under the clear?
Yeah. Oh, this.
Yes.
So you must have pushed that button. So clear everything. Just push clear until everything clears.
Okay.
Now try it again.
Okay.
You must have put second and then divide. Don't hit the second button when you push divide.
Okay, don't push the button, the second?
No, yeah, if you do second and then divide, that's where you get that K. When you hit divide, you just push divide. You don't have to push the second button to push the divide button.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. That's why then. That's why
Yeah.
I keep doing it wrong. Oh, okay.
So
All right,
try it
thank you.
again, and it should be good now. Just don't push second to hit divide. Remember, the second button is to get the green titles that are above each of those buttons. So if you don't need the green, you don't need to push second. Divide is the main button, so you don't need the K.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me know if you get it. You could just send it to me. All right, so.
Yeah, I get it. I get it now, yeah. I
Okay.
keep pushing the second button, that's why.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we got that down. All right, we got 7 minutes, and it's just one last thing we need to go over. Any questions about percentage increase, decrease?
Not anymore.
I'm still a little lost.
Oh, no. Let's see. I don't even think they have any more. I think they only have one. So what were you lost about? Just see if we could touch on it real fast.
Well, the thing is, were we supposed to get calculators already? I don't even have one yet.
Oh, that's why. Well,
I missed
part of it because you're going to have to do all that calculation.
Okay, I'm gonna go get one right now. Target.
Yeah. Make sure you get the TI-30XS multi-view.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Mr.
where
Ray?
Yeah,
I've been quiet. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Get one as soon as possible because we're gonna use it a lot.
Mr. Ray?
Someone else is calling me. Yes.
This is me, Norma. I don't have one either. I went to Target and I went to Kmart and I went to Walmart and I didn't find one. So I'm still looking for one.
You can.
They were all out of it at Walmart.
You can order it online. Amazon, I think it's like $15. So let me just bring it up. You guys see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So TI-30XX multi-view calculator is what you're looking for. And so it's saying is at a Walmart, not sure which, what did I just do? I clicked on Walmart. So Walmart, you can buy online now. They're trying to challenge Amazon. So you can find it on Walmart and possibly order it. Office Depot has it. Kohl's has it as well. Somebody's selling a used one on eBay for $8. Don't get the yellow ones. Those are school ones. And it says school property on their eBay 1080. This Walmart is charging an arm and a leg, $39. You don't want to go there. And then you can go on Amazon. Amazon normally would get it to you. If you got Prime, you could get it the next day. You want to type in TI-30XS multi-view.
Does the color really matter?
Not really. Just don't get the yellow one.
Okay.
The yellow ones have on the bottom school property.
Oh, okay.
Right there. Okay, here we go. So look, this one's $15, but sadly, this one said October 9th. There must be a large demand for it all of a sudden. So I would suggest just Googling it and seeing like who may have it in stock. It could be another Walmart that has it or an Office Depot near you.
How I had it done, I was looking for it like you were saying through Walmart and Target.
Right.
And within Targets, I went on Target and they shipped it from one of their stores to the one that was closer to me, and I just picked it up from there.
Okay, yeah. So you could do that. Just go on Target, and if you don't see it in there, you can have it for you. And depending on what Target you go to, you can have it the same day.
Mr. Ray?
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Yes.
Hi, it's Justine. I don't have my calculator either, but I did what Jacob mentioned. I ordered it and they sent it over here to my Target. I'm picking it up today.
Right. Yep. So, and it's $15.99 right now on Target.
Yeah, it's on sale.
Yeah. So you guys could do that. You could have it shipped to the Target that's nearest you. Do an in-store pickup, and we're gonna keep practicing the calculator. So if you miss, today, don't worry. We're gonna be practicing basically every day from here on out, utilizing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, give me one.
Get the TI-30XS multi-view. I had somebody get this one here that you see right next to it. they do not accept that in the test. They only accept one calculator, the TI-30XS Multiview. Even still, Daniel, you let us know that they don't let you take your one or something?
Yeah, they don't let you take it in anyways. They put it in a locker and they give you one there.
Right. So the thing is to know how to use it.
But yeah, it is important. I mean, it's worth the $15 to get it, especially since we're going to use it from here on out. So
right. And so the thing is, we've had students go in there and try to use it, and they don't know how to use it, right? You just picture yourself on the test, what we've been doing now and on Tuesday. You're going to be like, oh, man, what's happening? I can't clear this button, you know? And you don't want that on the test. So that's why we're learning how to use it. So even if you can't take it in there, when they give you the calculator, you already know how to use it, and it's just going to help you to do better. All right, so if there's no other questions, we just pick up. The last thing is pretty straightforward. It's just, I forget what it's called now. Simple interest, and it's just simply multiplying them together. So we'll pick that up on Tuesday. I'm gonna not give you guys a worksheet, but what you can do for homework is to practice in the workbook, of course, that lesson, the percentage lesson in the workbook, so lesson 7. And if you're feeling very ambitious, which I hope you are, in the student book on page 16, the next page over, is the unit review. And it does everything that we've done on the unit 1 on unit 1 from lesson 1 through lesson 7. The more you practice, the more comfortable you feel, the more confident you get. The more confident you are with the calculator, the easier it will be. And you're going to feel like you're just in class on the test, and you should breeze right through it.
So that was the student book, what page, Mr. Ray?
Student book, page 16 to page 21. Sorry, 23. 16 to 23.
Okay. To do that.
It's 16 to 23, right?
23. So let me write it on here. So in the workbook, and if you have to run, I totally understand. I'm just writing down the exercises. So in the workbook, you're doing lesson 7, unit 1, that's page 27. 29. And then in the student book, you're doing page 16 to 23. And any questions you have from there, just have them ready. Any calculator questions you have them ready for Tuesday. This one is only on percentages, right? Percentages. Student 1, that's a review of the whole unit. All right, so you can run with that.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Can I ask some questions?
Thank you.
Sure.
I was a little bit lost in the class today because I for some reason it's like I don't understand it. Like when we're using the calculator, is there any way maybe on Tuesday when we converting the decimal or the mixed number, how you were talking about the second and then pressing the fraction, just converting everything, if we can go over it in the beginning of the class.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that a lot, and don't feel bad. It takes, it's gonna get used to the calculator. So I'm gonna be doing that in basically every class. Just make sure you come with questions. I'm gonna make sure that you get so comfortable you start to teach me something, right?
I think it's always challenging, so you have to be doing it a bit every class. We touch it a bit. Yeah.
Every class, and that's why I'm trying to assign you similar assignments that you've done already by hand. And the more you do that, the better you get. And you just want to be so comfortable on that test that you could just breeze through it. And we're working on time too, so you really want to try to finish questions faster now. That's what we're going to be doing in Unit 2. And yeah, if you have to leave, I totally understand. So have a great day, great weekend. Don't forget to try those assignments.
You too.
You, Mr. Ray.
If you have any questions before you go, just let me know. But other than that, enjoy your weekend and stay safe with your families.
Bye, Mr. Ray.
Yes, have a great day. Bye, George.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. I'll see you Tuesday.
All right. Yes, Jacob.
You left us so much.
Salvador.
We're going to be able to enjoy our weekend now.
Say that again.
So you left us so much homework. I don't know what we're going to do this weekend.
Just a little bit at a time. 15 minutes. 15 minutes each.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's help you knock it off.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
All right, Daniel.
Bye.
George. See you guys.
Yeah.
Mr. Ray?
Yes, Justine?
Hi, it's Justine. I just wanted to say thank you for letting me join the class late.
Oh, that's no problem. That's fine.
Yeah, it was my daughter's award assembly. It was like a drive-through.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's totally
So-
understandable. It's a hard time, and I know I'm a parent, so I totally know the difficulties that can arise. So, you know, just as long as you let me know, it's totally fine.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good night and a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, George, any questions?
So let us keep it on Tuesday so that I still need to memorize that fractions and decimal. That is why I always have problem.
All right, just have a list ready for Tuesday. Remember the first part, we just go over everything.
Yeah.
So
Especially when we have this one that it repeats itself continuous. That's why we need to.
Oh, just to practice on that one.
Yeah. The decimal that repeats itself. Good.
So if you want to YouTube it between now and then, just type in repeating decimals.
Okay.
Sometimes it comes up as recurring, so it depends on what you type in. So sometimes it's stated as repeating decimals, and sometimes you may find it as recurring decimals. So either one, you'll find a lot of stuff on it that you can supplement.
Okay, bye.
All right, have a great one. George, enjoy your weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, bye-bye.